My question is about money. Some suggest to obtain gold, silver and cryptocurrency. I understand we are moving up to 5D. Do we still value silver, gold, cryptocurrency in 5D? Thank you so much.
Answer, dear questioner. This is Tunia speaking. Thank you so much for your question. This is a great topic to talk about. Most of the time when we get a question, the channeler hears either me or Hakann tell him, okay, I'll answer this one. This was the first time that both Hakann and I were so very eager to answer a question, so that the channeler heard both of us say, I'll take this one simultaneously. Thankfully, Hakann was gracious enough to allow me to take this one. He's sitting next to me and will offer input as needed. First, I will offer some general comments about money. As you may have heard before, we consider it to be a form of slavery. If we'd ask you, do you have enough bricks and enough unoccupied land and enough unemployed people so that you can build houses for everyone, then clearly the answer is yes. But if we ask you, do you have enough money to build houses for everyone, then suddenly the answer is no. If we'd ask you, in the US, only about 2% of the population is employed in agriculture. With this in mind, do you think that it makes sense that the entire adult population needs to be spending most waking hours and most of their energy doing jobs they hate, in order to keep society running? You would probably say no. But if we were to ask you, can we afford to base the economy around 20-hour work weeks, then suddenly the answer is, no, we don't have enough money for that. There is a discrepancy here because an incredibly large amount of money is being subtly siphoned off from the real economy and disappears into secret bank accounts. The actual richest people on your world are not who you are told they are, and those people are far richer than the current so-called richest man, namely Elon Musk. Bad people often try to control you by telling you to think in terms of models about reality, instead of thinking about actual reality directly. In general, it is often better to directly look at reality, instead of looking at models of reality. If you think, do we have enough bricks and unoccupied land and unemployed people to build houses for everyone, then you're thinking in terms of actual reality. If you are thinking about how much money that would cost, then you are thinking in terms of models of reality. One possible future for Earthlings is that your positive military gets its act together and starts arresting the bad guys. If they do not do this, another possible future is that regular Earthling civilians at some point decide that society has become so toxic and absurd that they simply walk away from it. They'll start their own lives outside of the system and especially outside of the current money system. Once enough people do this, the current system will crumble and the way will be prepared for something better. Consciousness is rising every day, so every day one of those scenarios comes closer and closer. So, that is conventional money. Then, what is cryptocurrency? Basically, the appeal of cryptocurrencies for the issue is that I can make them out of nothing. Then I can sell my nothings for something. So cryptos are just another money magic trick. Someone, say a bad guy, creates them out of nothing and then sells them for something. And then most average citizens start fighting to acquire these tokens that have an inherent value of zero. The bad guys think this is hilarious. The bad guys want you to spend your money on things that do not exist, so that you will own nothing. And they want you to have your attention firmly directed towards video games and virtual worlds and porn and towards how bad the other political side is. So you can think of regular money as a scam by bad people, and you can think of the vast majority of cryptocurrencies as another scam by the same bad people. Cryptos are like the controlled opposition. Have people become rich from cryptocurrency? Yes. But keep in mind that cryptocurrencies do not generate wealth in and of themselves. If Tom makes money from Bitcoin, then mathematically at some point other people need to lose that same amount of money. Yes, if Tom is smarter at trading cryptos than Anne, then maybe Tom can get some of Anne's money. But do Earthlings as a collective benefit from both Tom and Anne effectively playing a crypto zero-sum trading game against each other? Not really. Yes, I know that some average people have gotten wealthy from cryptocurrencies. I am not denying that. But still that will inevitably mean that at some point, other people will lose that same amount of money. Society as a whole does not benefit. And the days where you can trivially make a profit by just buying and holding Bitcoin are behind us. I am not saying that it is impossible to make a crypto profit in 2022, but it is harder, unless you're a scammer. Note that the Gini coefficient, which is a measure of wealth inequality, is huge in cryptos. So cryptos aren't actually this tool that allows the average person to climb out of poverty. It's yet another tool with which the rich and the cheaters can extract money from the population. Also keep in mind that your mainstream media generally cover cryptocurrencies in a neutral to positive manner. Do you think they would talk about cryptocurrencies this way if those really were the common man's path to wealth and liberty and freedom from banks? If cryptos were really that, then your mainstream media would make sure that the common view on crypto enthusiasts is not that they're cool and smart and hip people. Instead, the mainstream media would make sure that the common view on crypto enthusiasts was that they're weird basements dwelling nerd incels who are dangerous, unhinged, and possibly alt-right or criminal. I'm not saying this view is accurate. But I am saying that if cryptos really were the common man's path out of financial slavery, then mainstream media would slander cryptos and crypto enthusiasts. Yes, I know that theoretically cryptos have use cases, but how many average people have actually used crypto systems for anything? The only really effective use cases of cryptocurrency so far are scamming people, getting around sanctions, and crime. Admittedly, if you live in particularly authoritarian countries where it's really hard to buy certain legitimate goods, Bitcoin might be genuinely useful. If you like cryptos, I would like to invite you to ask yourself the following. Suppose that there was no way to make a profit from trading cryptos and no way to buy illegal things with cryptos, but you could still do things like note down purchases on the blockchain and buy cups of coffee or concert tickets with cryptos, albeit in an expensive and roundabout way. In that case, would you still be passionate about cryptos? If not, then do you like cryptos, or do you like the idea of becoming wealthy without much effort? I'm actually not judging the desire to become wealthy without much effort. In fact, from one perspective, every Pleiadian is born wealthy without much effort. We do not have a currency, but I just get everything from the community that my heart desires, and I do not have to contribute very much labor to the community. So I am not judging you for wanting to have a comfortable life without much effort. I want that too. In fact, I was born into that life. But if you have cryptos and you want other people to buy cryptos too because that makes your own tokens more valuable, then well, just be honest about that. Just say, I genuinely think you should buy this crypto, but to be transparent, if you buy them, then my own tokens will become more valuable too. So I have a financial incentive to tell you to buy them. Would you like it if I recommend you to buy something without mentioning that I will financially benefit from you making that purchase? Don't you think that you deserve to know that information? As always, I am merely offering my perspective. If you disagree with me, that is fine. Please do not treat me as an all-seeing oracle who always speaks the one and only objective truth, for I am not that. I am not perfect, I have my own biases. As always, we encourage everyone to use their own discernment to determine what is true and what is false. Hakann's message, how do I know what is true, can help here. Your own soul can always advise you better than I can. Are there any forms of cryptos that I am not skeptical about? Yes, those that are backed by actual physical real-world assets. In that case, there is no money magic-like trick where something is created out of nothing and then sold for something real. So, money is a magic trick and it's subject to inflation. Crypto is a magic trick and it's controlled opposition by the dark forces. The stock market is overvalued. Suppose we're not a particularly savvy trader who can make profits even under these conditions. Where should average people put their savings? Well, I know you have strange rules about not giving financial advice. So the following is not financial advice. I will merely share what the channeler has done. The channeler has most of his savings in silver, and would have bought mostly silver and a bit of gold if he was rich enough that he could afford gold. Will silver make a good profit in the short term? Very likely not. Will silver make a good profit in the medium term? Maybe, maybe not. At the very least, it's a good store of wealth in this inflationary environment. Some people have also bought some Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. It could come to pass that those currencies will become much more valuable in the future and will each become worth $1 or a couple of US dollars. At that point, those people hope to be able to sell those currencies for a profit, Will indeed the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong indeed become more valuable? I, Tunia, am genuinely not sure. Some people are working towards that goal and are making plans, but those plans might not come to fruition. That said, the upside here is large and the downside here is small. Another option is to start out by thinking, what do earthlings need and how can I help? Or, how can I serve God? Or, what would I like to see more of in this world? That line of thinking might lead you to realize that you can start a company that benefits humanity. In this case, you can invest your money into your own company. You don't necessarily need to store your money in some kind of stuck form and hope that it becomes more valuable over time. You can also use it to build something that benefits the world. You are wise to ask if gold, silver, and cryptocurrency will still have value in 5D. In our Pleiadian society, we do not use gold or silver or cryptos as currencies or wealth. We do not have currencies. You can think of our society as sort of libertarian because no one is forced to do anything they don't want to do. We just freely volunteer our time to benefit the community, and that is enough. So long as we don't directly harm anyone else, we are free to do as we like. We have very few laws. That said, while we do have personal belongings, no one owns means of production or bits of the ship we're on. That would be weird to us. And why would we desire to do so? We already get everything we need simply by asking for it. In this way, you could also think of our society as communist, because we get everything we want from the community. And most of us are inclined to freely contribute to the community. That said, there is no top-down control over us, as communist societies on your world exercised over their people. This works for us because we raised our consciousness first and then implemented this system. We have a sufficiently high level of consciousness that no one abuses this situation. Why would they, when they can already get everything they desire by just asking? We do not have people who have insatiable levels of greed, because our parents love their children so much that their hearts are filled by love, and so they do not become greedy. Although it is up to you how you want to build your society, we think it is likely that you will construct a society like this too. And at that point you will not need gold or silver or cryptos. But that point is some time away still. In the current moment, gold and silver and money and cryptos still have their uses. And in the coming in-between period where you transition from the old system to the new, gold and silver and money and cryptos will still have uses for some time. I hope this helps. Better times are coming, I promise, but it's not certain when exactly they will be here. And unfortunately, the direct future may be challenging. However, you are very strong and beautiful and capable. You got this. I love you very much. Tunia.